What's up? Black men should only be around other like minded black men. One thing I've been learning in my life is that you don't need to be around anybody who is not like minded. And I used to just be caught up in the disguise that, okay, just because we're black, we can come together. No, that's not what it is. You have to be like minded. That's the most powerful, that's the most important thing beyond race or skin color. And I think that that's one thing we have to understand in the black community is that not everybody want to see the black community rise. Not everybody want to be a part of, the black community rising. And you should, as a black man, surround yourself with other black men who see you for who you are, who see the vision, who see your message, and they want to be a part of whatever you want to be a part of, or uh, we have the same goal and the same vision. I think you should surround yourself around those type of men, not guys you can just go out there and have fun with, not guys who you can laugh a lot with. That's one thing we have to understand. It's not just about having fun. Being around people, it's not about leisurely type of stuff where you're just going to laugh and joke around and nothing's gonna be serious. That's the problem that I ran into that was a detriment to me getting to who I wanted to be, because I was around people who in reality did not care about me rising, didn't care about me improving. They only wanted to be around me if they needed something from me, or they wanted to laugh, just lighthearted stuff that never really meant anything. And I think that with the movement I'm trying to push now and the things that I'm trying to do now, I'm really trying to be very selective with, who I'm going to hang around with. And I've had problems with, not putting myself out there as much, but I understand that everything is all about quality. You want to have quality relationships, you want to have quality people that you're around that are high quality. Don't just be one of these guys that think, oh, I gotta bring everybody together. Bring the people together that already think like you. And I think that social media can be a great way of attracting those people who already, they can understand and receive your message and how you think before y'all even really meet. And I think that that's something that's very powerful. But it's all about being around somebody in real life, in your real life interactions. And I think that that's the thing we have to focus on, doing something in real life, doing something that's in reality. The internet, it's only so much you can do on that, and I'm not a guy that want to push a online movement or a online thing. I want to push guys going out there and being around other men in real life who thinks like them, who have the same vision. They want to be a part of something bigger, and they can come together and help each other. I think that that's something that's is very important, and we overlook that so much because we get caught up in, I want to live my life, I just want to have fun. And I understand that, and I understand that it is a time and a place to have fun and do all those things. But in life, you really don't want to be around people who aren't like you, and that's a thing that we have to understand. That's something that I'm understanding. And if we want to see the black community rise, and I've said this in other videos, if we want to see the black community rise, we have to start separating ourselves from the things that are self-destructive inside the culture. So if I'm a man who wants to see the black community rise, he wants to see the black community focus more on self-improvement, self-discipline, having the right relationships. If I'm a man that want to see all those things and I'm trying to do those things in my personal life, I want to surround my life around other guys who are trying to do that, and not only surround myself around guys like that, but then we push that message of, okay, more people need to, be a part of this thing that we're a part of, and think how we need to think, and think how we think. I meant, and I think that that's how you start a movement. That's how you start change. It's not gonna be by, just waiting and sitting and thinking nothing gonna happen and stuff gonna naturally, just take its course and everything gonna be all right. You have to do something about it. And I think when it comes to the black community rising and black men getting stronger and being the leaders in the community, the black men who actually want to be somebody and actually want to do something for the community, they need to come together, and we need to, start from there and separate ourselves from the black people within our culture, within our community, who are self-destructive, who don't want to do anything, who don't really care about anybody but themselves. We got to separate ourselves from them because they're really hurting the people, the black men and the black women who want to go out there and change the world, who want to go out there and be a good example of having, a certain type of family, who really want to have a prosperous culture. The self-destructive culture, holds those people back. And, I think that that's the thing that we really overlook, that we're blended, so much of the self-destructive culture covers the people who actually want to have like a prosperous culture, and they want to get out and improve and be better and be stronger, and they want to have the right relationships and do things in a productive, positive way. And because that's not at the forefront for us, the things that are at the forefront is the self-destructive culture, the self-destructive nature of, the black community. And as I get older, I understand that coming together with people is very important, but it has to be organized, it has to be structured, and it has to be an ideology we have to be behind. It can't just be we come together for whatever reason. We have to be behind a certain ideology, and the ideology that I'm bringing forward is a prosperous culture of self-improvement, eating healthier. The men being in control of themselves, the men having full, being the strongest version of themselves, the woman being the best version of themselves. I want to bring a culture of us coming together, us eating healthier, us having the right relationships, of us, just every aspect, learning black history, doing things together, and just everything around us, doing stuff positive and doing stuff that reinforce us being better. And I have a outline of that right here. It's just, working out, eating healthy, learning about black history, learning about sexual energy and relationships, and learning about like finances, money, entrepreneurship, educating ourselves in those ways. And I think that that is what we really need to build our culture around. And this all starts with other with this all starts with black men who are like-minded and want to see that happen, us coming together and us every week going through these things individually, and that's where we really get somewhere. And I understand, man, like I'm not the most, competent guy, I'm not the smartest guy, but I understand that uh we have to be a part of something. We have to fight for something if we want to see change, and we have to be ready. And we have to put that a part of our culture. That's what I mean with my last video, or one of my other videos. I was talking about we need to become more like the we could learn a lot from like the Jewish community. But anyways, I have a guide that I've made, and it's a deep dive into all those things I just mentioned, like working out, eating healthier, sexual energy, learning about Black history and who to look up to in Black history, finances, money, becoming more financially literate. I've made a guide, a deep dive guide for all of those things. And if you click on the link in the bio section of my channel, that's where you're going to find that. And if you're interested in that, check that out. That's pretty much all I got to say. Peace out.